Hello and welcome to the Daily Millwall for Monday the 20th of February 2023. In today's Millwall news we have this piece from southernnews.co.uk. Danny McNamara explains key factors behind Millwall's win against Sheffield United. The right back reveals why the Lions targeted wide areas in Saturday's 3-2 win at the Den. Danny McNamara knew exactly what Millwall had to do on Saturday afternoon with Sheffield United coming to town. Some fans feared the worst. After all, the Lions had lost both of their previous two matches against the Blades 2-0, and their midweek defeat to Cardiff City looked to have knocked their confidence after an impressive run of form. Playing at the Den is a different prospect, however, and Garrett's men found a way to become just the 7th team to down the Steel City side in the Championship this season, winning 3-2. Millwall set up to overload wide areas with Sheffield United using a 3-5-2 formation with high wing-backs. Oliver Burke and Andreas Vogelsammer were the main threats, while McNamara and Murray Wallace were involved in the final third to maintain a constant threat throughout the 90 minutes. We knew it was going to be like that today, the right back admitted after the game. They play with wing backs, we play with a back four, so the space was naturally in the full back areas. We were told to keep exploiting those areas and keep putting down the sides. I thought he did that really well. Obviously, Berkey and Bogey getting down the sides and putting crosses in and shacks. I thought he was excellent as well. I think we really enjoyed that one today. The win was absolutely vital for Millwall, who returned to the top six ahead of tomorrow's home match against league leaders Burnley. For McNamara, both the performance and the result show the Lions' character and quality on the pitch, especially considering that they were pegged back twice before scoring the winner late on. It was a good game. We said at the end it was one of the best games we played in the season in terms of atmosphere and goals. It was end to end and we really enjoyed it. I'm really pleased we got a result. Today was massive. It's a good reaction from the game against Coventry. We weren't at our best that day and obviously the result showed that. We're glad we got the result today and hopefully we can keep pushing on. There were moments in the game where it looked like Sheffield United's pressure would become too much for Millwall as fatigue started to kick in and the Blades pushed extra bodies forward in search of a goal. However, there was a prominent never say die attitude that helped them over the line, and McNamara is adamant that he can help the Lions climb up the table. We know that as a group we have to dig in until the last minute of games. Anything can happen in a game of football. I think the lads might have felt a bit tired today maybe. We've had a lot of games, but again, it shows you the character we've got and the desire to go again, to keep going and going and going, and to grind out results. We'll see where it takes us. There might be times in the game where we need to be a bit more composed and better in the final third, but this is all part and parcel of playing football week in and week out. We'll learn from it and keep going. McNamara is also confident that Millwall can beat anyone in the Championship and that their 3-2 win against Sheffield United is the perfect example of that. It highlights that they are capable of finally bridging the gap to the top six, having narrowly missed out last season. The Lions continue to challenge at the top end of the table despite operating with an incredibly small squad. Furthermore, Billy Mitchell's ankle injury means that Rowett now has to cope with 5 long-term absences heading into the final months of the season, although McNamara is certain that they won't let it derail their season. It just shows you the depth we've got in the team at the moment. The signs in January helped massively as well. We'll just keep pushing on, but obviously it'll be a big miss losing Billy. We've got lads there that can do a job as well. So we're looking forward to it. We feel like we can turn up to any team. It's a very good league this year. So anyone can beat anyone. We've seen it. We've got a lot of belief that we can probably get in there, playoffs, but we're just going to keep working hard. Things can change, but we'll just keep playing every week as it comes, try and get results and see where it takes us. We're just going to enjoy the ride. Indeed. Well done, Danny. Fantastic stuff from you there. Danny McNamara enjoying the ride, and why not? So, moving on now to the Loanwatch. Before we get into the preview from Burnley, that was just the leftovers from the Sheffield United game, because it's literally blink and you've missed it. It's like one game, day off. Now we're previewing another game tomorrow. It's non-stop. Absolutely crazy. So here we go. Millwall's lone trio in action. All three of Millwall's loanies were in action this past weekend. The one winner was Alex Mitchell, who played the full game at St Johnstone with 2-1 victors at Dundee United in the Cinch Premiership. Stevie May gave the Saints the lead, only for Dylan Levitt to level the pitch at 9 minutes from time. However, just a minute later, a free second from May They had Callum Davids aside all 3 points and saw them end the day in eighth place in the league table. Just a reminder, if you want to keep up to date with that, if you go on BBC iPlayer, you can watch the highlights. Basically, the Scottish match of the day is called Sports Scene, and you can keep up to date with how Alex Mitchell and St Johnstone are doing on that. Jordan Gilmore's VCD Athletic, meanwhile, suffered a 2-0 defeat at home to Whitehall, which saw manager Grant Basie's tender his resignation after the final whistle. The goalkeeper played 90 minutes as the Crayford outfit were left in 14th place in the Isthmian South East Division table, indeed. And there was also a loss to Shamar Lawson and Maidstone United, who were beaten 2-0 at Oldham Athletic. And here are the upcoming fixtures. Shamar Lawson playing tomorrow, the others playing at the weekend. And again, not digging them out, but they missed a game, midweek game for VCD Athletics. So Jordan Gilmore played in that as well. And he actually faced a penalty. Again, this is from footballwebpages.co.uk. It's the page for VCD Athletic. So he's conceded 2 goals there, but he faced a penalty. So not the best of circumstances. I never is if you go out on loan as a goalkeeper because you're kind of desperately needed by the team that's bringing you in. But yeah, not doing too well off VCD Athletic. So there you go. Moving on now to tomorrow. The big game, not the big game tomorrow, the little game tomorrow. There's 2 games tomorrow. The under-21s are playing. They've got to travel all the way to Cardiff for a 12 p.m. kickoff. Who knows? They might even already be there. I don't know how they're going to do it. Whether they're travelling overnight or what the hell is going on. But they might already be over down there in a hotel where they got to get up super early, like 6 in the morning or whatever. That's 12 o'clock kickoff. But here we go. Under-21 match preview. This is from CardiffCityFC.co.uk. It's for their official website, and they're letting us know what's going on. The Cardiff City's under-21 side hosts the Lions at Cardiff International Sports Stadium on Tuesday afternoon at 12 p.m. kickoff. Entry for this fixture is free for all. So if you're in the area, you want to go to this game, you can go for free. It's in Leckwith, I believe, if you know where that is. With Cardiff City TV also live streaming the match via the club's official YouTube channel. Yes, they are broadcasting it live on YouTube. Nice. So indeed. And then they go on about a load of other stuff. But currently, the under-21s are top of their table, which is good. So there you go. So live, 12 p.m. tomorrow. If you're on your lunchtime or you're sitting at a desk at your office or just dossing around at home, YouTube, Cardiff City YouTube, 12 p.m. Get to watch the game live. Should be nice. Now, the big game. You can't watch that unless you're abroad or you've got a VPN. Yes, if you're in the UK, because obviously this is a game that was postponed and it's only the original midweek matches, and I think you're allowed 2 more that they can put on to Millwall TV. So for UK viewers, that might be changing in the next TV deal. Actually, we could find ourselves in a situation where every single game is broadcast on the internet. Whether the match pass will still be £10, I don't know, because they might have to put the price up. I don't know, but because you could basically have one television with about 10 people sitting around it, and if you're only paying £10, that's a lot of money that the club could be missing out on. But you never know. I don't know. But yes, if you're overseas, you can watch the Burnley game on your computer TV. If you're in the UK, you just got to listen to it. It's not even on Sky. It's not on the Sky Red button. That's not an option tomorrow. So yeah. Or alternatively, you could just go down to the ground. I know it's a strange concept, but I think there might be a number of reasons why people might be swerving it, and we'll get into that later. But there you go. Yeah, but before that, let's start getting into it. This is the head-to-head from 11v11.com. I've sorted it into Millwall versus Burnley. Now, quite remarkably, I believe I don't know. I wasn't there, but Burnley used to be a big team back in the day. Well, they're in Division 2, and it took them about 10 or so trips to the Den from 1931 all the way to 1978 before they actually beat us. And that was a 2-0 victory in 1978. And remarkably, there are 5 draws in a row, which is weird, but hey. So they didn't beat us at the Den for many years, and then again sporadic defeat. Not too many defeats actually to them until we get to more recent time. There's a defeat in 1994, 3-2, 1999, 2-1, and 2001, lose 2-0. And then we get to the modern era, 2010s and onwards. And currently we are in a 5 game without a win streak at home to Burnley. Obviously, Burnley have had their time in the Premier League a couple of times, gone up, gone down, gone back up again. And our situation was we went down to League One, come back up, and you can see they have the money to buy the players, and they have for quite a while, a lot more money than us. And the best we've done against them in the last 5 games is a 2-2 draw in 2013. And you can see we didn't play them for 7 years between 2013 and 2020, a League Cup game that we lost 2-0. So this is the first time we played them in the league for 7 years. No, 10 years. 10 years. So this is a big ask now. They're obviously clearly runaway leaders, and we'll get into that right now. So I'm filming this after Watford beat West Brom 3-2, which must be good for Sky because 2 games in a row in the Championship they've had 3-2 wins, so nice for them. We've now been knocked out of the playoffs again through no fault of our own, but that's how it goes. But we do have that game. We've got 2 games in hand on Watford, so don't worry. We've got 2 games in hand on Watford. I don't know how. Cool. Oh no, the Burnley game is all game in hand. The Luton game is game in hand, and we've got. So those are our 2 games in hand. The game tomorrow, so it's a free shot. The game against Burnley is a free shot. If we lose it, it's not that bad, unless you got to start thinking here. What's our goal difference? +7. Blackburn, they're quite a way off of everyone. They're -3. They've got a weird situation when they've lost 13 games. But Norwich +7, 3 points behind us. West Brom +6, 4 points behind us. The teams we're chasing. Sunderland +13. They're on the same points as us. Massive goal difference already. If we lose heavily tomorrow, it could mess things up for the future. +4, Watford, but we've got, like I said, 2 games in hand. But the games in hand are the Burnley game and the Luton game. But again, if we lose heavily, we're going to get down to their level. So if we lose against Burnley and we lose against Luton, our goal difference will be probably worse than Watford's, and our games in hand and them will have been squandered. But again, Luton +7, they're 1 point ahead of us. So I'm kind of expecting, which fair play, because they're the runaway lead. You can see here, look, they're runaway leaders. That we kind of play how we started to play against Coventry, which to do that against Burnley is fair enough. To do it against Coventry is a bit stupid. So we're going to play keeping it tight, not trying too hard. Maybe Bradshaw isolated on his own. That might be how we're going to be playing, and relying on set pieces and stuff. Yeah, if we lose, we've got to keep the score down. We've got to play until the final whistle. We've got to play for everything. We lose 1-0, we lose 2-0. Once you get into 3 and you've got -3 on your goal difference from that game, got -4, God forbid -5, it's going to be an issue. Let's just go back and see what is the biggest defeat that we've actually had against Burnley, and then 3-2 in 1994. So they've only scored 3 goals against us once, and then the rest is 2. And there was a 1-0 defeat in 2011. Is there a victory where they scored in 1981? We beat them 4-3. So they don't generally score that many goals. So hopefully it's not going to be that bad if we do lose, which is a possibility. So yeah, let's get onto this now from WhoScored.com as well. These are all of Burnley's away games so far this season. And a few things we can pick out from this. So the 3 defeats they've had away. Manchester United in the League Cup, they lost 2-0. Sheffield United in November, remember, 5th of November, that was a shootout. They lost 5-2, kind of like the game that we had with Sheffield United the other day. They lost all the way back in August when they were still sorting themselves out, licking their wounds after getting relegated from the Premier League. They lost 1-0 to Watford. And in the league, that is the only time they failed to score away from home. If you look, that's the only time they got a 0 there. They didn't score at Manchester United, and they didn't score at Ipswich, but I'm guessing that squad was heavily rotated. And they still ended up with a 0-0. So they do score constantly away from home, at least 1 goal. In fact, earlier on in the season, a lot of their away games were 1-1 draws. At West Brom, at Preston, at Cardiff, at Birmingham. More recently, however, been winning games. QPR 3-0. That doesn't really say anything because we know QPR are shit because they sacked their manager. Stoke 1-0. Swansea 2-1. Norwich 3-0. Luton 1-0. So again, you see here Luton, they lost, but they kept it down to 1-0. And if you're gonna lose, that's probably the best situation for us right now, to maximise our gains and to minimise our losses, because that goal difference is gonna count. It's absolutely gonna count unless we just keep winning every game, which would be amazing, but highly unlikely, don't you think? So let's get into the preview from this. So this is still on WhoScored.com. As we've seen, let's just do this to the last 6. You can see, so the last 6 games at the Den, we've won 1, drawn 2, and lost 3. Although we've scored 4 goals in those 6 games, they've scored 8. But in terms of cards, it's 7 yellow cards for us and 14 for them. So probably depend, and a red card as well. Could the situation of the referee be important? The referee at Coventry was a bit shit. The one at Sheffield United, people were moaning about as well. He missed a few things. He missed the offside, the penalty. What are the chances we have a third referee in a row that's dog shit? Hopefully not. But let's have a look at the match facts on the right hand side. Burnley have won 11 of the last 12 matches in the Championship. Millwall have seen under 2.5 goals in 11 of their last 12 home matches against Burnley in all competitions. Burnley have scored at least 2 goals in their last 6 matches against Millwall in all competitions. So that includes the ones you've seen on your screen now. I've just sorted it to home versus away. This is including trips up to Burnley as well. So in the last Millwall, Burnley, Millwall, in the last 6 of them, Burnley have scored at least 2 goals in all 6 of those games. That doesn't sound good, does it? Burnley have won their last 3 matches against Millwall in all competitions. Indeed. But in the league, at Millwall, we haven't played them in 10 years. Yes. So here's the table as it stands. This hasn't been updated. That hasn't been updated. But you get the gist of it. We're still on the same points. It's just the position has changed. They are on 72 now. Here's the thing. We beat Sheffield United, who are in second place. That was Sheffield United's second defeat in a row. They lost to Middlesbrough. That's helpful to Burnley. Burnley don't have anyone breathing down their neck now. They've got a 9-point lead to Sheffield United. What does that do? It takes the pressure off. They're maybe not going to be as tense. They probably don't need to win. If they're in a drawing situation, they might just take the point. Let's take the point and go back up north. We're not gonna bust a gut because Sheffield United are struggling right now. We're fine. So let's take the point. That could be playing maybe rotation, squad players, not risking a player who's carrying a bit of a knock. So it could be beneficial to us. You never know. Let's have a look at home form. Obviously, Millwall are now 4th in the table. We haven't lost at home in a while. I think it's something like 8 games or so. You can see we only lost 2 times at home. And we've only conceded 11 goals. If we go to Burnley's away form, they're the best away team in the league. They've scored 27 goals, conceding 14, 9 wins, 4 draws, 2 defeats. So that's the same as our. So you see how good we are at home. If you're a Millwall fan, you've been following us. How good we are at home. Look at that 9-4-2. That's how they are away from home. As good as we are at home. 9-4-2. 9 wins, 4 draws, 2 defeats. If we go to form, what about more recently? So, overall, they're unbeaten in 6. We, in our last 6 games, 3-1-2. Only scoring 7, conceding 6. But what if we take that to home games? We haven't lost in our last 6 home games. Scoring 8, conceding 4. What about Burnley's away games? That still doesn't do anything. They have lost an away game in the last 6, and that was to Sheffield United. So let's sort this out. We know what Millwall have done. So we haven't kept a clean sheet at home since Rotherham, and then before that, Bristol City. We failed to score against Bristol City and against Sheffield United in the cup. I think we can discount that pretty much, can't we? So it does seem that getting a goal is imperative to getting anything out of this fixture. As I mentioned, Burnley have scored in every single away game in the league, except for the one they lost at Watford earlier on in the season. They always score away from home at least 1 goal. So we're probably going to need to score 1 to draw 1-1 at least. If we keep a clean sheet, we could be winning it, or it could be a 0-0. But I think if we want to win it, that's the thing. Do you go for a 1-0 win, or do you try and outscore them like Sheffield United did and have like a 4-3 or whatever? That's the thing, isn't it? That's what Gary Rowett's got to decide. How is he going to play? it will be interesting to see. Hopefully, it isn't too bad, but you never know. You never know. So yeah, they've actually kept a clean sheet against Luton, against Norwich, against Ipswich. That was in the cup. Don't worry about it. Against Stoke as well. They did concede 2 to Bournemouth, but that's in the cup, and Bournemouth are a Premier League team. So, hey ho. Not only do they score in every away league game, they started to keep clean sheets. It seems they're getting stronger as the games go on, doesn't it? There's the strengths and weaknesses. And the styles. Match forecast. Millwall will create many scoring chances. Burnley will dominate possession. Millwall will dominate in the air. And there will be a low number of cards shown. Okay. So let's get on to the prediction from whoscored.com. Yeah, we've seen the match facts. Prediction. Tom Bradshaw netted a hat-trick on Saturday afternoon as Millwall blew the automatic possession race wide open with a 3-2 win against Sheffield United. The Lions can go fourth with a win on Tuesday night, but face an immensely tough test against the runaway league leaders here. The Burnley juggernaut continues to plough along after Clarets Hedge past playoff contenders Luton on Saturday, thanks to a late Ashley Barnes penalty. Vincent Kompany's side have dropped just 5 points in the last 17 championship outings. So squeaky bum time, they needed a late penalty at the end of that game. Did not know that. And they predict Millwall 1, Burnley 2. There's no prediction from Prutton yet. I think he's going to do it tomorrow morning if he does. So I'm going to have to give my prediction now. I would love for it to be the same as the Sheffield United game. But I think what's going to happen is what I kind of expected against Sheffield United is, in my head, the vision of us trying and huffing and puffing and them just soaking it up and then hitting us with 2 clinical goals. And I can see that happening against Burnley in my mind. Yeah. I think what I thought would happen against Sheffield United is going to happen against Burnley. I think it's going to be Millwall 0, Burnley 2. I would love for it not to be that, but if it's not going to be that, it's probably going to be 1-1, to be honest. But we certainly do need to keep that score down. And like I said, now that we helped Burnley by us messing up Sheffield United, I think the pressure's off them. So hopefully they don't go all gung-ho Rambo and try and score 3, 4, 5 past us. I think once they do, if they do go 2 up, I think they'll just play the game out, which would be fair enough for us in terms of goal difference. If we could just try and nick a goal and make it 2-1 and just get -1 on the goal difference, that would be good as well. But yeah, sometimes you need to lose the battle to win the war. So we'll see. Yeah. And on that note, thank you for watching and goodbye.